Good morning, viewers at home. Welcome to the program, SuperDawn. I am Vera Support.
And I am Anthony Osaibo. Good morning to the world. Good morning, Vera. It's good to be sitting here with you in the studio again, especially on this day.
It's a special day. It's June 12th, and today we're looking at the relevance of June 12th. And the topic today is commemoration of June 12th. To a lot of people, it means different things. To some people, it means that it's a time where we need to reflect someone's sacrifice. But to some other people, they will argue that, the late Chief M.K. Abiola supported the military when they were trampling upon people's rights, and so he deserved what happened. But to some other people, it's a way, a free road to democracy. So we're going to be looking at the importance of it and looking at the relevance to us today, and especially looking at what the president said recently on Wednesday, awarding a posthumous award to late Chief M.K. Abiola and some other people. We're going to look at all that. The lines will be open for you to call and make your contributions. And of course, what we do normally to start off is to go through the papers, and we're going to do that this morning. Once again, good morning to you. We'll go on this break. When we come back, the newspaper review will start. Let's go on a break.
SuperDawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen Television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Welcome back. It's the newspaper review segment this morning, and we'll start with a Punch newspaper. The first one says June 12 election umpire. Nwosu writes federal government on M.K. Abiola's award. And the writer says Article X aide asks court to stop conferment of award on Abiola and others. I think I need to get the story. The chairman of the default National Electoral Commission, Professor Humphrey Nwosu, has announced that he will not be able to attend the posthumous investitures of the presumed winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, the late Chief M.K. Abiola, as the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic scheduled for Tuesday today. It's today, and he's saying he's sorry we might not be able to attend that.
Did he give you reasons why you couldn't attend the...
Well, he said because he will be out of the country, so he might not be able to be part of this
knowing
event.
fully well that at that time he played a whole lot of roles during Abiola's time, it would have been only right that he attended this award.
No, but if he's out of the country, he's out of the country.
No, he's out of the country.
And so he has a good excuse,
yes. Not faulting him.
Yes.
But would have been good, though.
Okay, we have this says here, no going back on law to criminalize estimated billings reps. I think this one again, when people complain about the estimated, billings by these officials, one begins to wonder, why can't everybody even have the box?
And the thing is, we have always been talking about this. It's not today. It's always been going on, but we haven't seen any drastic solution to this. In as much as we know the solution, which is prepaid, but then we just keep still having this overestimated billing, and it's really
terrible.
Getting...
It's terrible. Let me read what the House of Representatives said. The House of Representatives said on Monday that it had no plan to step down a proposed bill to criminalize estimated billing by electricity distribution companies in the country. The bill, which seeks to amend the Electricity Power Sector Reform Act, has successfully passed second readings and the public hearing stage. It seeks to outlaw estimated billings and prescribes penalties for discos that fails to supply prepaid meters to their customers within 30 days of applying to be connected to power. You know, if by law, by the law, if you don't have a prepaid meter, within 30 days, they can't give you any estimated billings. But they keep doing that, even though people that applied and have not gotten, they keep giving you outrageous bills. And some places you see where people complain to say it cannot continue like this.
Well, not some places, a whole lot of places, especially in Lagos, are complaining. The customers are complaining. These estimated billings are way too high. As a matter of fact, just last week we had a situation where the case was supposed to be addressed at Oba. But then they went there, they registered their names, laid their complaints, and till now nothing has been done. So I think if this is passed into law, it would really solve the situation of things.
Okay, let me just take some headlines. Frame up allegations. APC, PDP reps disagree on Obasanjo and Buhari. Still in the papers, we have Nigeria, Morocco sign agreement on gas pipeline and others. Well, you could get hold of if you get hold of the punch, you get to read this one. Ghana orders to import fuel from Dangote's refinery. Lasema police search for Lagos woman who jumped into the lagoon. How we uncovered Desiani's 19 properties, EFCC. Get hold of the Punch newspaper. Okay,
moving on to the New Telegraph newspaper, we have here just some few headlines. It has here, Nigeria's fuel imports hits 963.2 billion naira in 3 months. This one says, sex for marks. Professor's accuser must show up. This is coming from the Unilag VC. This one says, suicide, rescuers search for woman inside lagoon. That is the woman that was allegedly that jumped into the lagoon. And this one says, Senate passes 213 bills. Clears 138 petitions. And this is coming from Bukola Saraki, the Senate President. This one says, Nigerians are intellectually aggressive, economically ambitious. And this is coming from Buhari, President. This is more like an encouragement, when you compare this statement to the previous statement he made at the conference at the Commonwealth Forum, where he said Nigerian youths just sit and wait for the oil money. But it's a good one from the president, and that will be all we'll take from the New Telegraph newspaper.
Okay, moving ahead, we have the Daily Trust, and it says, false age declaration. HOS fails to sack Borders Agency boss indicted by ICPC. We also have rescuers search for woman who jumped into the lagoon. And this from the Daily Trust. Federal government declares Friday, Monday public holiday for Eid al-Fitr. We have this. Federal government says estimated billings subjective, prone to abuse. We also have in the Daily Trust, finally, Humphrey Wosula Buhari over June 12 declaration. That's all for the Daily Trust.
Okay, from the Vanguard's newspaper, we have here the headline right on the front page, making waves. How June 12 you ruined Abiola others' businesses. It comes with the writers. It says federal government moves plans to intervene. This is coming from the SON. Concord Press, Wonder Loaf, ITT, Summit Oil, others in limbo. Another writer here says, yes, it says, I remember the 12th of June by Pat Tomi. I would really like to take that story, but because of time, you could get hold of the Vanguard newspaper and just check in page 43 for that story. This one says June 12th, Southwest shuts down today as Abiola is remembered first time in Abuja. This one says we won't change PDP slogan. Symbol says BOT. Chairman as Atiku. Suraki Dankwabo lead presidential race. And that will be all from the Vanguard newspaper.
Okay, that's what we'll take from the Vanguard newspaper, and we'll go on this break now. And when we come back, we want to really look at the commemoration of June 12. June 12 is very important in the history of Nigeria. Well, in that 1993 presidential election, someone won, and he was denied of his right. And lots of things happened where the then military administration refused him his right. And so crisis took place, and Sani Abacha came into being. Now we want to look at that man that sacrificed his life, or those people that laid their lives for democracy. We'll go on this break. When we come back, we have a guest in the studio. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're looking at June 12th today, commemoration of June 12th, and we have a guest in the studios. We have Comrade Fayebo Ekperete. He's the National Coordinator Concerned Citizens of Nigeria. Comrade, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Comrade. Welcome, SuperDawn.
Comrade, what does June 12 mean to you?
First and foremost, thank you. June 12 means different things to different people in Nigeria. And as a Democrat and as an activist, as a man who believes freedom of expression, freedom of movement, and freedom of association, I believe June 12 was a day that Nigeria will have believed that democratically elected person in the history of this country, the most free and fair election was discovered. And it was so unfortunate that personal interest affected the system.
Okay, so now are you saying, what you're saying is you are going with the notion, or you're supporting President Buhari's point of view that the Democracy Day should be celebrated on June 12 and not June 20, and not May 29th?
Yeah, actually, first and foremost, I have to commend Mr. President for having that mind of declaring June 12 a Democracy Day, because we have agitated for that for long. But the problem we have here is that it shouldn't be that the president is doing that for his interest, maybe political interest or personal interest. If not, over the days we have been celebrating June 12, we have never seen Mr. President show concern of such celebration of June 12 or giving honor to Chief MKO Abiola by participating or contributing the issue of June 12.
Let me get you straight.
I'm coming, sorry. Now, looking at the scenario, someone like us will see it as like he has agenda. If not, it's a very nice thing to honor a great man, Abiola. Do you understand me? So, but the system of doing that, we are calculating or seeing it as a political.
Why is
because
that?
Because Mr. President happened to be a president since 2015. 2016, he couldn't declare it. 2017, he couldn't declare it. And very close to election now, he's declaring MKO Abiola, GCFRO, and June 12. Let me tell you, the truth is that June 12 should be celebrated worldwide. That is, federal government should declare holiday for that. But if you follow due process or constitutional aspect of it, it is illegal. It is illegal because May 29, in 1999, military government successfully handed over power to civilian government. Because the annulment was done by military government. And finally, the same military government got to 1999, May 29, successfully handed over power to democracy. Up till now, we are enjoying the dividends of democracy. So it is so, tactical, and sometimes when you study the announcement, you will calculate it to various angles, whereby at the end of the day, it will fall into political.
So you are saying this, that this award and this declaration is political because it's it's close to the election period. Now, if he did this, say, last year or 2 years ago, would you make the statement?
Yeah, Paravation, he did that between 2 years after, 2 years before today. I think you will discover Nigeria will be seeing that, this Mr. President is a man of integrity. This Mr. President is really in me business. This Mr. President is a selfless man. This Mr. President have the interest of the masses. This Mr. President have the interest of the people. This Mr. President have the interest of Nigerians. Because many Nigerians, as I'm talking to you, I celebrate June 12. Even after I leave this place, I'm going to June 12 celebration. Last year I did it. A year before last year I did it. I joined my leader, Comrade Joseph Ever, to join other patrons, Gani Adams, and others to celebrate June 12. We have been celebrating June 12.
Okay, if you have been celebrating June 12, Does the president deserve a commendation for what he's done?
That is what I said. My first statement said, I commend him.
Yes,
but it shouldn't be political.
How do you mean it's political? Could it be? Is it because he didn't say it when you wanted him to say it? Because he's coming out now to say this was what happened, and this award, the most highly honored award, is given to him. Why is it political?
Yes, it is political because May 29 has been recognized by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Before you be able to announce such type of announcement, you will forward it to the House of Assembly as an executive bill for them to debate it. And paravis, we are in democracy, we are not in military system of government that somebody will just wake up from bed and announce something that it will become permanent. So because Mr. President knew that it is not going to be possible, but because of political interest, he has to announce it. If not, Mr.
Are you thinking for him now? Are you thinking for Mr. President?
We are observing him.
Are you thinking for him?
We are observing Mr. President. I'm not a spokesman to Mr. President, but we are observing him. If not, Mr. President will have suspended the May 29 broadcast. Nigeria will now be wondering, why do you suspend May 29 broadcast? You will now address Nigeria. I want to honor Abiola. With even that, Nigeria will say, this man is very serious. He will have announced it before even May 29. The day May 29, people were expecting him to announce it as a broadcast, a president broadcast. He will not just be silenced. And if media has him, Mr. President, this is not normal, this is abnormal or unusual. It's not usual for you to not talk to Nigerians May 29. He will now address Nigeria that I want to honor.
Is it not June 12th that brought about May 29th?
No.
Was it not because of that?
Yeah, actually the agitation,
it?
yes, the agitation and the anointment make Nigerians angry, and that led to May 29.
Yes.
Agree. But in that period, if Nigerians really agree on that, they will have shifted it to June 12 in order to make sure that the democratically elected president is sworn in on that particular day. Since it has never happened in that way, and May 29 become constitutional, you must follow a process and due process in order for you to legalize it. Because now, if you ask people who were born on maybe 1995, 1996, if you ask them even May 29, they will not understand. Now, if you tell them June 12, many of them may not understand. But just that the passionate people that believe in June 12, that celebrating it, makes some people understand that June 12 is being celebrated because democratically elected president, democratically elected government was supposed to be in place, and it was unknown.
I'm going to hold you on there before Anthony asks his questions. Hello, good morning to you.
I'm fully in support with my friend's argument. It's highly political. You don't need to dribble him. To ask the question how, it's common sense.
We didn't get that. We didn't hear you.
And if it's just not now,
we didn't hear you.
The president will now think he's giving a goody to Southwest in order to win their votes. Thank you.
I don't know. Did you? Hello.
Said, I think I heard him say it's highly political, and he wants to use. The president is trying to use this as a strategy to win votes from the Southwest.
Okay, then go ahead. You wanted to ask a question.
Okay, but regardless of, I'll go back to that question, his opinion, but regardless of the Constitution, when you look at the incidents that happened in June 12 and May 29th, which of these days would you say deserves to be declared Democracy Day?
I think June 12 is the best. It's the best day to be declared Democracy Day.
So your grounds is because he did not consult with people. Is that why you're angry?
Yes, no,
because
not that I'm angry.
Okay.
I have to express my feeling.
Okay.
Because I'm a citizen of Nigeria.
Okay, is it because he did not consult with the National Assembly?
Yeah, we are in democracy.
Or consult with the people?
Yeah, you see, the system actually, when you discover what happened in 2014 to 2015, when Mr. President, former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, honored Chief MKO Abiola with Unilag, there was a lot of argument here and there that it is political, and a lot of people even sue him to court. And me looking at it, it is political because Mr. President do that. Then Mr. President did that for the interest of attracting the people. Attracting because he discovered that, like what is happening to the current president now, he discovered that a lot of people are not happy with him. A lot of people are not happy with him, especially the Southwest. They are not comfortable with him. So instead of him to, come up to the public that, oh my deed, I'm very sorry, forgive me.
Why did you say they are not happy with him? Are you from the Southwest?
Yeah, the system is economic is dead. The country economic is not helping matters. The sentimental of fighting corruption, appointment is very bad. I've discussed those things here some time ago. Appointment system is not good. It's not helping matter. It's one-sided. And we want this thing to be, generalized in the country. If at all a president is a president of the whole country, you have to decentralize the appointment of every part of the country. Now, people discover that these things are not okay. Now, because of that, Mr. President has to look for a strategy to attract these people.
You assume. Your thoughts.
It is very obvious.
Okay, but I'm going to take you back. I wanted to do this later. Let's look at June 12 itself.
Yes.
What do you think are the significance of June 12? What's the relevance?
Yes, the relevance of June 12 was all Nigerians voted for democratically should be elected president. But Nigerians wanted to see democracy come in place in 1993 because of oppression and intimidation and an autocratic system of military government. Then, so Nigeria were so excited that Chief MKO Abiola is winning the election, and it is going to be a very good one for the entire country. So Nigeria became angry when it was later announced. So the significance of it is that Nigeria were so much expecting democracy in 1999. So that is the uniqueness of June 12. You can see that every part of the country were very passionate about that June 12 because they believe that Nigeria is going to be savage in 1999, in June 12, so that 1993, so that Nigeria will come out from oppression. But unfortunately, the people that refuse to accept.
But we've seen where some states have been celebrating June 12. On that day, they give public holiday in some states. And for a long time, other states don't give public holiday. Does this show that some people appreciate the fact that someone laid his lives, the struggle, people struggle for democracy in Nigeria?
Yes, yeah. Some people celebrate it and some people don't celebrate it because you will see that I am going to the area of political. Now, some people in Southwest believe that Abiola is a Yoruba man and national party in place then was not it was not the party that ruling the state of Westerners. So the other party that are ruling other states, which is not really a party to the western part of the country, refuse to do that because their national body will not allow them to do that. Take for instance, South-South, South-East, and some part of the northern part of the country were controlled by a ruling party, then PDP. Now, if you look at the history of the western part, most of them were controlled by opposition party. And the opposition party then believed that it was the struggle that brought democracy.
But if we all believe that it happened because of a man or because some people that struggled for us, should it be sectional?
That is the issue of politics. Person that celebrates Chief FKO Abiola in Southwest is still celebrating in South-South. He's still celebrating in Southeast. But they might not be majority. That is the secret behind it. They might not be majority.
And why is there? Why are there not majorities?
That is why if you have belief on a particular issue or particular vision, keep on doing it. Today you can see that because of politics, the federal government is declaring it. You can see now few people that agitated consistently have gotten grant. Very soon, if this thing becomes legalized, it will become a widely celebrated democracy day. That is June 12 instead of May 29. And you know why Mr. President now cannot celebrate it? Because he came into power through May 29.
So why do you say he cannot celebrate it? Because he has just said he was going to confer a title, an award to late Chief Late.
That is why you see that today.
So why do you say he's not celebrating? If he's not celebrating, will he give him that award?
That celebration is not declaration of the holiday for that day. Today you see that there is no federal government holiday. If peradventure it is possible, federal government will have declared holiday today. That is to tell you that it is not possible.
Maybe it will start next year.
Maybe no, he said it will start
next year.
Yes, he said it.
How possible Mr. President will remain there for next year? If he is voted out, is it possible he will be there for that next year?
Will you be surprised if he's there?
No, the Constitution
Will you be surprised if he's still there next year?
No, peradventure even is there. The Constitution brought him there 4 years. Not exceeding of 2-3 days. So you have to obey the Constitution. Do you understand me? Because that is the fundamental truth. But because of politics, we want to politicize everything. No, it cannot be possible.
Okay, we will go on this break. When we come back, we want to actually look at what happened then. Because some parts I started in my introduction, some people said that, hey, they do not believe in June 12 because what came about June 12, they are not happy about it, that the late Chief MK Obiola supported the military then, and things didn't turn right for him. And some said he supported the military, the military were just trampling on people's rights and people's feelings. But we're going to look at it critically and look at the side where they say they don't support, and those that believe that this struggle led to freedom for all Nigerians. Let's go on this break. We'll be back. Welcome back. We're still looking at commemoration of June 12, the importance really to June 12. I said before we went on that break, some people don't believe in June 12. Some people just felt, well, he caused it for himself. He romanced with the military, and so they took over power and they denied him of his right. Comrade Feyebo, looking at this event and the scenario, lots of things that come up from this event. People say the General Ibrahim Babangida did this to Nigerians, and some other people have said Abacha was part of this coup plot, because you know Abacha plotted the coup to take over power when he knew that someone actually did one. Some people are even taking it to the northern part of the country, saying they do not want someone else to take over power. Looking at all of this scenario, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, that is the problem Nigeria is facing today. Nigeria is being sentimental and religionistic, and ethnicity, all those things affecting Nigeria. Babangida is just telling Nigerians all those story. He was the commander-in-chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He has every power to announce the election, and the election will be. But because Babangida himself know very well that what brought him to power was some type of, some kind of people that he know that is very loyal to. Like you mentioned Abacha. I read some article that Abacha warned him, and that he know how he became power, and he became in power, he became president, head of state, and here and there, and that power should be shifted to him. Actually, it is true, but the fundamental truth of the matter is that you cannot totally avoid this type of comments that happening in this country, in the saying that personal interests are being the issue in Nigeria. Take for instance, I'm an historian. I study history. Now, in historical analysis, if you analyze the June 12 election, first and foremost, you have to declare the election. Now that Professor Wonsho is alive, he should come and declare the election. But having declared the election, there is no place to position the late MKO Abiola in history. Because history cannot lie. In history, we have seen that after the anointment of June 12, Shonika became interim president.
Yes.
So where do you position MKO Abiola as a former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? No matter you declare the day that he won the election, that was unknown.
So won't that cause healing when it's declared?
Pardon?
Won't that cause healing to the wounded?
Yeah, the
Is
healing.
it not better than declaring it than keeping quiet?
No. If peradventure it is declared today, you cannot position him. That is one of the things, because historians don't lie.
He's already gone.
Yeah, he's gone. So
yes,
there's no place to position him as a former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So even declaring him GCFRO, it's like you are mocking his grave.
So what can be done now?
Yes.
What can be done?
It is very possible. If Mr. President wants to honor Shifem K. Abiola, he should name him after Ashrok. He has the power as the commander-in-chief of Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The commander-in-chief, the grand commander of Federal Republic of Nigeria, GCFRO, is meant for the current president or president that is alive. A president that's won and ruled this country. It's not a person who was not, election was not declared, and as of the day Mr. President is giving him posthumous honor, it was not declared. I am not against of giving Abiola honor. I am really in support of that.
I keep asking this question.
Mr. President, I'm an historian, and historians don't lie. Historians have to stick for the facts.
Okay, but comrade, I keep asking when people come here. And it's disturbing. Why can't people just trust Mr. President? What are the things you're seeing that is not making people just trust him? Even when he's doing the right thing, people feel there's a motive behind those things.
No.
Why are we not just...
Sometimes I'm flabbergasted. Who are the people advising Mr. President? Sometimes I'm dumbfounded. Who are the people behind Mr. President? Sometimes I'm surprised. I'm bemused. For people to be telling Mr. President to be doing the wrong thing.
What are the wrong things?
Like, take for instance,
Mr.
President went to Benue State some time ago recently. Mr. President, the commander-in-chief of armed forces, is coming to the public and declaring and saying that he has never knew that the Inspector General of Police left that state over 2 months.
Is that why you cannot trust him?
No. Mr. President is in charge of everything. So before he pronounces such type of thing, you must consult widely. I know the pronouncement of Chief FKO Abiola is a beneficiary, or maybe is a good thing to the country and for individual purposes. There are some people that will benefit it now. But we are looking at the futuristic aspect of this country. Futuristic aspect in the saying that our children are going to study our history. It's unfortunate now they are banning history in the schools.
I think they are overruling that again. But let me hold you on there, please. There's a caller. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning to you.
Okay, yes, ma. I want to comment on the topic that we were saying. So, about Mr. President declaring June 12th as a democracy day. So, I understand that he did it as his own personal interest. He did it as his own personal interest. So he doesn't care to know about people's feeling or what people will think about his declaration. He just did it as his own personal interest because the election is around the corner. So he wants to use it to, have the minds of people to vote for him in this election.
Can't you give him benefit of the doubt?
Hello?
Can't you give him benefit of the doubt?
I'm not hearing you.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hello, I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
I don't hear.
Okay. I wonder why we cannot give him benefit of the doubt. When he came up to say, maybe he's been around all this while and he didn't do it, and now he realized that he must do it.
Nigerians are not fool. And Nigerians are now rising from their slumber to a greater stage now. Many of our children, a child I born 2 weeks ago now, if you talk to my child now, she will be shaking her head, Those days, when our fathers give birth to us, we don't even open eyes for maybe some 2-3 days. But right now, when you give birth to a child, immediately you give birth to a child, the child will open eyes, looking at you very well, to tell you that the country is civilizing, the country is upgrading, the country is understanding the tricks behind the political angle, and especially politicians like jingoism. They are type of people who can do something and get bigger things from you.
But if you say
so, we are now realizing their mistakes, and they believe that their mistake they are doing. They are so intelligent, they are so wise, and they are so smart. So you cannot deceive Nigerians.
If they are smart enough to make this move, like you said, this is political. And from what you have said, I presume that coming 2019 election, President Buhari is trying to win the votes from the Southwest. Do you see this as a move that will actually succeed?
Okay, I will allow you, comrade. I will allow you answer, but there's a caller here. Hello, good morning to you. Good morning to you.
Yes.
Ayo. Ayo, I don't know what's wrong with your phone again. Okay, I think you need to answer Anthony's question.
Come again.
Okay, the question is, this move, this political move by the President Buhari.
No, he said political
that was
move.
what you said, that he's trying to use this as a move to win the votes of the Southwest. Do you see it actualizing?
No, I'm not. I don't even really say that he's trying to use it to win the vote of the Southwest. The Southwest are very wise people. They are very intelligent and wise people. We have great men from the Southwest who can enlighten their brothers and sisters to understand the nitty-gritty of the announcement of this June 12th as a democracy day and GCFRO title given to late FKO Abiola. The white Yoruba people are very intelligent people. They manage this country. So you cannot just deceive Yoruba man.
Okay, but can any president come and satisfy us? The former president, Goodluck Jonathan, came and we said, we're tired. Now President Muhammad Buhari is here doing his own thing, and we're saying, hey, he's being political. Can we ever get someone to satisfy?
No.
But I will answer you. There's a caller here. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, please. I'm so glad to be part of the show. You see, what that young man is saying the right thing. It's just the basic truth. Every Nigerian has come to age. We have realized what people are toying with our experience and our knowledge. Get it now. This is not just something. I tell us, remember June 12. What are we doing? See, we know that it's easy to Lagos. So, Kegaban is something behind it. They must have advised him that this is the way you can get the interest of Yoruba people. Actually, he has done something great. Thank God. At least this is something we wanted. And to God be the glory. I pray that what they were planning will be a success to Nigeria. Even another motive, by the grace of God, motive will just be good for us because we really need peace in this country. I'm glad it's in this country that has grown.
I don't know why it's distorting.
Thank you very much. I love what you are saying, and we pray that God will continue to increase your effort.
Thank you. Amen. Thank you so much. Yes, you heard what he said.
Yes. I saw he was commenting what I was saying. So Yorubas are very intelligent people that someone cannot just play their intelligence. So we are worsen. They are also worsen. Because the damage have already been done. The country is in
but can we ask a question? Can we ever be satisfied?
You make a statement.
Can we ever be satisfied?
Thank you very much. Nigerians never said they are not they were not satisfied with President Jonathan.
If they were satisfied, they would have voted in.
No, listen. It is the manipulation. That's why you see some people are shouting that they want to kill them. They are in trouble. They are in this. Why are they shouting? The same people were saying that the President Buhari will be the best man. Now they are shouting that my life is under worse. That they are just deceiving Nigerians. So I make a comment. I wrote article about the matter. That some people that are shouting are not supposed to be shouting. So you don't need to shout. This is what you know that is good for the country, that you brought it, and now you are shouting. You are shouting for what?
Finally, can we just
hear what you brought?
Finally, can you reiterate what we've been saying since concerning June 12th?
Yeah, actually, June 12th is a very great day, and it's a day that needs to be celebrated. And if constitutionally approved and accepted, and I think it is a day that we should also actually make Democracy Day.
Okay, I want to thank Comrade Feyebo Perete, National Coordinator concerned citizens of Nigeria. Thank you for coming on this segment.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Well, we'll be going on a break right now, and when we come back, we will still continue with the commemoration of June 12th. Stay with us.
SuperDawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen Television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Welcome back. Joining us, we have Segun Akabashonri, is a politician and also a public analyst. Good morning to you.
Good morning, viewers. Happy June 12th to everybody in Nigeria.
Happy June 12th to you.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, I'd like to ask, what's your perspective of the June 12th? What's your perspective of it?
Well, it's a watershed in the political history of Nigeria. And funny enough that we are still talking about June 12th, 25 years to date. It's an amazing point in time in our history that we keep reflecting, even though at some point we tend to want to forget what has happened. But we need to go back to the past to dissect exactly what went wrong and what we could do today to make it, how should I put it, how do you bring June 12th to bear with today, in which people can now put at cross-reference the benefits, where we went wrong and what we could do. For instance, generally speaking, people have said, if you talk about June 12th, you talk about the fairest process of electioneering in the history of Nigeria. That is the freest and fairest of all election processes we've ever gotten. And not only that, it was the only time that the majority of Nigerians were glued in attention, in participation in the processes of bringing political change in Nigeria. So it's a watershed. We have to go back to revisit. We have to go back to learn the lessons of the past, how we could forestall such in the future. Because right now, we are also at a political, what you call a political uncertainty. Because people are almost taken aback. The apathy is coming back into the process. Some people are telling you already that they are not interested as far as the agitation of 2015 was, because there's much interest in participation of the political process once you have certain things that people yearn for. And June 12 was the greatest yearning politically that Nigeria had, with the greatest number of participation. And a lot of things that happened, because military was the time of military era, and it was a watershed for us to have a fourth republic, that we need a democratic system again in Nigeria. So people who are really yearning, people who are tired, because we had a long spell of military dictatorship from 1984 all the way to June 12, 1993, when the election proper took place. And then for another 5 years, up to 1994, the agitation for June 12 was on, that the mandate must be given to the winner. MKO Abiola eventually died in prison.
Okay, but what are the lessons for a politician? First, what are the lessons? I'm looking at the man, late MKO Abiola. What are those lessons? No, not just late MKO Abiola. What are the lessons to also learn from Gani Fawemi? What are those lessons that we must all begin to look at when we're talking about leadership?
Well, the lessons from June 12 is amazing, because we've never had the opportunity to document historically what actually transpired. It's a disservice to Nigerian students and the Nigerian citizenry, in which people are not taught the past to reflect, so we don't make, so history will not repeat itself. And we know today in our schools that they don't teach much of history, and we need this history so people can understand what is happening today. I remember in those days of June 12, there was no GSM.
Yes.
We were using those phones, the ring phone, oh God, what's the name? There's a name for them. But we were using those phones that had wires, attached with wire. They were not wireless, they were not cordless, so you have to dial those numbers. And not many people had telephone lines. Most of the time when you want to call abroad, people go to Nitel to make those calls. So this was an era where communication was only through the news medium, whether print or media. And the way information circulated was so slow in the era of June 12. But to have so much participation in that time, so much people were involved, that it was amazing that until that process is documented, nobody will never appreciate the gravity of the participation of people, because so many people died. in the struggle for June 12. So many people took part selflessly. So many people jumped all over the world. There were Nigerians in all of the diaspora who started their own June 12 movement. I started the June 12 movement in America in those days. We were two of us. We led the whole June 12 rallies in America because we wanted to jump on board and saw that this is a fair process.
But the question is, what are those qualities Chief MK Abiola had at that time?
Well, we will go back to the personality, but let me first, I really want to make sure that people can understand the significance of June 12. Because today, as we enjoy the Fourth Republic, 1999 till date, we've had 20 years of uninterrupted democracy.
Yes.
We were supposed to have started during the time of MKO. It should have started with MKO. Unfortunately, he did not realize that mandate. However, historically, what had happened was that after the old June 12 experience, the political class in Nigeria, the political class, so to speak, those who could lead the struggle for a new democratic dispensation were decimated, meaning they were already tired. The process has watered and weighed them out. That by the time we were about to start and started the new democratic dispensation in 1999 till the date, at that time it was not the people that struggled for June 12. It was not the people that died and fought for June 12 that benefited from the transition. So we found a lacuna in the types of people that emerged and filled our political space. So and that is why we can learn, we can reflect from June 12 that it is the fallout of June 12 that we have today in our political processes, in our political dispensation, in the Fourth Republic. The people who have been in power, who have got into power since 1999, are the same people who are trying to hold on to power to date.
So considering today's declaration as Democracy Day, when you look at June 12 was a day that MK Abiola had the election and was presumably the president who won the election. Now, when you look at that, after it was annulled by IBB, some other things happened, crisis, protest, and attacks on MKO. Then, when you compare that to May 29th, where the military willingly handed over power to the civilian rule, you look at these two incidents, would you, which day would you say actually should be celebrated?
Hands down is June 12. It should have been a no-brainer that it was the struggle for a democratic dispensation that June 12 was hinged on. The whole of June 12 was that we want democracy. We are tired of military. We want democracy. Military must go. We must elect our leaders. And people went out, freely exercised their franchise and elected their leaders. But they were denied that mandate. You understand? So, if you're going to have any democracy day, eventually when we now add democracy, democracy could not be anything without the agitation and the sacrifices of June 12. So it should have been a no-brainer for any government that came into power immediately after that process, because there will be any government that came into power immediately after June 12, hold it as a duty and obligation.
Maybe I will take this report as a report we will bring to you now, and after the report we'll come back. Let's have the report on June 12th. We'll be right back.
All right, Mom. You are somebody who played a very vital role during the 1993 presidential election. And now I just want you to quickly take us to history on the role that you actually played during the annulment of June 1993 presidential election.
Several roles were played, including risks of one's life, and in trying to actualize this mandate. We know more than 400 people lost their lives. I was also shot on my leg, and up till now I still carry the pains because I never had the opportunity of treating it. It was treated locally. So at times I feel the pains, and at times I get so scared that what has happened to my leg. So a lot of people, there's somebody who is own leg amputated. So a lot of people paid
The price.
MK Abiola paid the supreme price. Getting to his house, it was always beehives. People were coming in, and MK Abiola was interested in farewell to poverty.
All right, beautiful. Now we realize that the sitting president, President Muhammadu Buhari, has now conferred the award of GCFR on late MK Abiola. As an activist, then, how do you feel about this?
With mixed feelings. One, people tell me it's a political gimmick, but I prefer to take the message and not necessarily considering the messenger. Apart from that, it's a welcome development, long overdue, but now that it has come, we'll accept it with open hand. It's just for us to press further for the recognition of MK Abiola. June 12th is an executive order. So we also expect the executive to work with the National Assembly so that all that will have, no one will rise up tomorrow and challenge it legally.
All right, I'm about asking you that because really the order given right now is just the executive order.
Welcome back. Sorry about that. That was an interview with Nike Adiboye with Joe Odumakin, looking at the award that the president, the rare executive announcement coming from Mr. President. But we still have Segun Akabasharu in the studio. Segun Akabasharu, I'm going to take you back again to what Joe Odumakin said. Looking at the award, do you think he was sincere about this award? That is Mr. President. If it was his, well, I don't really care whether I was sincere. It's, you know, what is given is given. If he did not do it, another president would have done it. Because it's a watershed that brought about the Fourth Republic that the last 4 presidents we've had, including Buhari, are benefiting from. So whether it was Buhari or whoever is against it is trying to make a point, or what you call make out of a hole, out of a mole. They're trying to make a mountain out of it, because this is eventually what it should have been. So at any time when it becomes, it should not be an issue. So June 12th has always been June 12th, historically, to not change. Now acknowledging that there is a June 12th officially from the government is well overdue. It has been delayed for too long. So whether it is Buhari, whether he has a reason, it's immaterial. Okay, when the fact is that it needs to be done, it needs to be acknowledged. Not only that, more needs to be done. Because, you see, the fact that the mandate was given to Abiola by the people, Abiola doesn't own the mandate of June 12. So the mandate of the people must be reflected. And historically, by giving Abiola the presidency and saying he won because he did, he was denied, the announcement was stopped, the umpire Umusu had announced to the point that Abiola had won. So there is no controversy about who won the election. So what ought to have been, what ought to be rightly done today is not only giving him an award, is pronouncing him as the former president of Nigeria. So you are saying, so like historically, yes, historically to be in our history books for the rest of our lives, because the agitation for June 12 was about that. Somebody won. Was a stolen mandate. Was a stolen mandate. Okay. During the election, it was a Muslim ticket. Oh yes. But still, people came out and cast their votes. Yes. Do you see Nigeria ever to happen to come out with that to involve? Yes. It is not impossible. You see, it depends on the personality. A lot of people talk about MKO to Abiola. They don't know him in person. MKO and Abiola was an enigma. I'm going to allow you to continue. There's a caller here. Hello, good morning to you. Good morning to you, the panel. Good morning. Let me congratulate Nigerians. Yes. Especially the Southwest. What happens today marks the beginning of a new thing to happen to Nigeria. June 12 is undebatable. Let's thank the president
General Buhari for a wonderful job by your done. Actually, the man in the black, I don't know his name.
It's Shegu Akabasho.
He said it all. He said it all. If Buhari refused to do that, somebody will do it. But let's thank God for our life that we witnessed today, June 12th. You cannot write the history of Nigeria besides June 12th. But the problem in Nigeria is we are too sentimental. We don't believe in the truth. And when there's light in darkness, we just find the street. And we have light. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for calling. Yes, you were saying something for the caller.
Yeah, we are talking generally about
the Muslim ticket.
The Muslim ticket.
Can we see that happen again?
Oh, it will. It will happen again. You see, it was not an issue of Muslim ticket. It was a issue of perception in the nation at that time. The perception was not focused on whether they are both Muslim tickets. The personalities that were meant to take over. You see, I was saying earlier that the man Abiola is an enigma. A lot of people do not know him, that speak of him today. But of course, people of older generation who were old enough in his era knew how magnanimous he was, in the sense that he was so friendly. He was a real Nigerian in the sense that he was detribalized. Abiola goes to all parts of the country, gives to all faiths freely, whether in building mosques, churches. He is known to have done many things in all parts of Nigeria, irregardless.
Okay, another caller came.
Yes.
Another call came in.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning. Happy
June 12th, sir.
Same here.
Same here. Happy June 12th.
Same here.
Hello.
Yes.
We can hear you.
I'm very happy that you said come again.
Amen.
I thank our president, Mohammed Buhari, long life. By the grace of God, will rule this country. By the grace of God, God will stay with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You can see the excitement of just
because
June 12.
Yeah, you see, yeah. So by the grace of God, if you have the kind of personality, because you see, everything is about perception and acceptability. And our president today, there was a perception when he was coming to power that people had, and people fell in love. After MKO, he has been the only president who has been able, statistically, to win the North and the South. Because Abiola won most of the majority of the South and majority of all the states in the North. It has never happened before. And Buhari is the closest, historically, in Nigeria that has won an election, a general election for presidency, that cuts across both South and North. And today, people have claimed and given many reasons why did he give it, why this time. Well, life is about perception. If he shares in the perception that this gesture, by his own perception, that by doing this gesture will make people happy, will make people want to see him in a different light, it's allowed.
But some names were mentioned also. We have San, that Kamifawemi was mentioned, Babangana, Kinjibe was mentioned, and people said those names are not supposed to be mentioned. Do you support their thoughts?
Well, limitedly. I'll support that limitedly, and I'll be very fair here.
But before you do that, let's hear this call. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Solomon.
In fact, what you see, the problem there in June 12th is that Nigeria got tired of military rule. And everybody wanted to vote them out by bringing Abiola. Now, it's over 25 years that this thing happened. The man in question did not rule. And Buhari knew that, winning 2019 election is bringing this issue.
And that is why he brought it. You will see after 2019, you will begin to see another thing. I'm telling you, just watch. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for all. Yes.
Yeah. So,
those names.
the issue of Baba Gana Kingibe, of course, was a joint ticket. And if we are talking historically about a stolen election, a stolen mandate, and a president and a vice president that never ruled, whose mandate was stolen from them, we will have to, in talking about June 12th and the mandate that was stolen, it was a joint ticket. So that is given. That is given. Whatever happened to Baba Gana, those becomes, people knows we know the fact. Our feelings toward Baba Gana Kingibe, we may have mixed feelings towards him, but irregardless, we are talking about a joint ticket that was fairly won, a mandate that is owned by the people, and the truth needs to be said. So if there's going to be any recognition on that, they should rightfully be jointly recognized. However, for the civil rights activists, Mohammed, the late Gani Fawayemi, who is obviously an hero of democracy, is a man I love and I hold dearly. However, the objection that many had mentioned and many have pondered on was that why singularly pick Gani Fawayemi for that honor when there are so many people that were even in the struggle before Gani for June 12th? Because Gani was not part of the June 12th struggle at the onset. However, when he came into the struggle, he made a significant contribution. However, there were those who were with the struggle from the very beginning to the end, and there were those who lost their lives. Both in the north and in the south. It was not just a southern struggle. There were many northerners, prominent northerners, who believed, the like of Babala Musa, Bala Usman, there were many of them who believed, Colonel Umar and all of those, who believed and joined the struggle and risked their life as well. So there are many Nigerians here. Kudirat Abiola died. She deserved. She took up the mantle after Abiola was incarcerated, and she continued until she lost her life in the process.
After Abiola was incarcerated, or before Abiola was incarcerated, it preceded that he had declared himself president in the southwest.
Yes.
And after that, we had a series of attacks. Now, would you say that is a nice move, or that was a good move?
Oh yes, he had to. You see, thank you for that question, because people have ascribed all kind of aspersions to the man MK Abiola, and this was one of the most shocking revelations to many of the activist community. They did not expect Abiola to sit and dig a hole in the trenches, that this is a no retreat, no surrender situation. Nobody expected Abiola or expected that of Abiola, MK Abiola. It was perceived as an elitist that loved his elitist lifestyle and would never sacrifice. But everybody was wrong. To everybody's total surprise, Abiola dug into the trenches and was willing to sacrifice. And this is why, you know, when people say, oh, Abiola was not the Messiah, no, he was the Messiah. Because he was willing to leave all the riches, all the pleasures of life. I mean, I don't know if anybody has ever been in police detention. Okay, but we're wrapping up. Because if you're in police detention for just one day, you will know that even in your own little comfort you have, you don't want to lose it. So imagine the like of Abiola, who was then perceived as the richest man in Africa, who now said for years that I would never compromise my mandate, the mandate given to me by the people. That was exemplary.
Can we get people like that in Rwanda?
I hope so. Maybe.
Rounding off this part of yours, can we get people like that? Can we get leaders like that in Nigeria?
Well, we will get leaders like that as soon as we flush the system out of those leaders who has made Nigeria, who has actually choked and become the strangle road. They have hold Nigeria by the strangle road. There are a lot of godfathers in these countries. in this country of ours who are sitting on the future of democracy, and they are the people that are clogging the system. Once we get them unclogged, we are hoping Buhari is coming with a tsunami of changes, of certain things. Yes, it may be political, but maybe this is the season that we can get everything in a nutshell. Okay, and we can ask Buhari for more. We need local government autonomy. It's giving independence to the judiciary, complete independence in which you'll get financial autonomy.
We're going to invite you someday because of time.
So these are developing stories that we are hoping that Nigerians will see much more. Make the cost of governance much. You have to find a way to reduce it by 90%,
okay,
and make it unattractable to people who go into office. It's too attractive. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Happy June to everybody.
A public analyst.
Thank you.
Happy June 12.
Happy June to everybody.
We're going on this break now. When we come back, Shegun Musa will be joining us. Let's go on the break. We'll be right back.
SuperDawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen Television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Welcome back. We're still looking at this commemoration of June 12, and we have joining us this morning Shegun Musa, our transport planner. Good morning to you.
Thank you very much.
And also a politician.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're looking at June 12. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, thank you very much. Let's start with the fact that June 12 is a symbol of democracy as far as Nigeria is concerned. That was the period we laid the foundation for an enduring democracy in Nigeria. And there's so many lessons that you can learn from June 12. Before now, we've not been talking about free and fair election in Nigeria before June 12. And it was June 12 that ushered in a closely supervision election that adjourned as free and fair in Nigeria. And that has been the foundation of our enduring democracy in Nigeria. And since then, we've been using June 12 as a measuring barometer for all the elections that we've been having. We try as much as possible not to go below the standard of June 12. And it has actually served as a good pace setter for us to lay a solid foundation in Nigeria. Be that as it may, one good thing about June 12 is the fact that we were able to have what is called a genuine and true Nigerianism. In the sense that, number one, we put aside ethnic interest, religious interest, and personal interest. And that was the first time we had a Muslim ticket, and nobody looked at it and said, look, why is Christian not involved? Knowing fully well Abiola and the vice aspirant were Muslim. Tofa is also a Muslim. Yeah. And nobody cares whether you're a Christian or you're a Muslim, whether you're Hausa, you are Yoruba, you are Igbo, you are South, nobody cares. That is genuine democracy. And that's the way things should work. If you look at the pattern of our democracy now, we actually derailing. We are less concerned about quality. We are more concerned about sentiment, and it's very dangerous. And for true Democrats, they continue telling you, regardless of the religion, regardless of the ethnic or any personal interest, what matters most is the true Nigeria and the national interest. And that should be the key word, national interest.
The June 12 election was notified by Babangida.
Yeah.
Regardless of the reactions that has been given after that, what is your take on that? What do you think is the reason that election was notified?
Yeah, there are so many reasons that probably Babangida and some people have actually elaborated. But as far as I'm concerned, none of those reasons were genuine. It's more of sentiment. It's more of dictatorial should continue. It's more of why do we need to allow democracy? Why do you need to allow the people to cross the Red Sea? Why can't we cage them and allow them to remain in Israel and in Egypt? And I think that is actually the reason. And today, people that are architects of the annulment are actually regretting now. Whether we know it or we don't know it, definitely the history has actually shown that they are regretting now, because it's the greatest conduct.
Okay, lots of presidents have come and gone, and we've had expectations. We've had, as a matter of fact, when we're voting in the current administration, Buhari's government, into power, we were expecting that security would be tackled. We had expectations. But it's like after every president, we don't get what we want. Would you say that Abiola's case would have been different?
Yeah, it would have been different. I would like to say this for the first time. Part of the injustice meted against Abiola and innocent individuals were actually what accumulated to the crisis we are still experiencing up to today. As a student of security, there is this saying of conflict and conflict resolution. There have been so many injustices over time, and we expected that immediately the first election after the June 12 election came into limelight, the leadership under President Obasanjo would have been able to address most of those injustices, despite the fact that he established a commission to take care of human rights abuses during those periods. It was unable to actually attend to the major abuse and human rights violation during that period. It's more or less a kind of fire brigade approach, just to show that the government wants to do something. But at the end of the day, they couldn't address the major injustices that happened during that period. It ended up becoming just like a kind of show of I'm there.
So Abiola fought for democracy.
Yeah.
Well, true democracy.
Yeah.
And after that, after June 12, and we had May 29th, and after May 29th, we got into democracy. Spanning from that time straight down to this current administration, would you say Nigeria is actually experiencing the true democracy that MKO fought for?
Yeah, before now, we've not been experiencing it. To me, I don't see any symptom or any sign of true democracy that we're actually yearning for until this present regime that's actually, and even with the new development, you perhaps agree with me, that we are now beginning to look at how to correct the wrongs by ensuring that all those injustices of the past are now adequately addressed. Because if you know what it used to be during the time of Obasanjo, all these communal crises that were often swept under the carpet without any resolution, without any meaningful resolving the crisis, those things continue accumulating and accumulating, into what we are now seeing as militancy, what we are seeing now as Boko Haram, X-Men, and all those things. Most of them, if properly investigated, you perhaps agree with me, that they are the aftermath effect of all those communal crises that have been swept under the carpet.
I don't know if it was swept under the carpet. I wasn't there. But I know that we've been having issues even from that time up till date. But looking at what has happened, and looking at June 12, the last speaker made mention of some qualities in the late Chief MKO Abiola. What are those qualities you two have gotten? Can we hear from you? The qualities for a leader in this country and also an electorate in this country. What are the qualities we can learn from the late Chief MKO Abiola?
Yeah, not that late MKO Abiola happens to be our role model, our mentor, but also is a man of humble character.
So humble,
humility,
being humble.
Humility is a sign of leadership. And I perhaps you also agree with me that these are part of the reason why people actually appreciate and respect and love this gentleman when he was alive. Very humble in character, perseverance.
I'm going to come back to you, but let's get this call. Hello, good morning to you. Wow. You need to turn down the volume of your TV set. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Okay.
Yeah. Is a man of humble character, generous. He has this listening here. He's always there. He's a role model. It's a man of, I can describe him as a leader, a born leader. So all these, if you look at his antecedents, if you look at his effort on reparation, on slave trade, on encouraging people as far as humanitarian support is concerned, support to a religious group, regardless of the religion, whether he's a Muslim or he's a Christian, he doesn't care. Once we invite him, he's always there.
Can we get leaders like that in this country? And what can we do to have a leader like this?
Yes, first and foremost, the first thing we do when you want to appoint a leader, you look at the antecedent, you look at the record, the track records, you look at where the leader is coming from, the humble background, you look at the character, you look at so many things. It is only now that we don't actually respect all those factors. During June 12 election, these are the core factors that were debated upon. And people were like, look, if we have someone of this character, he can be a good leader. And I want to believe, aside the fact that we have someone in the regime now that is actually addressing most of these ills and the past injustice, we want to believe that he is also a person. He is not a generous man. He is not a philanthropist like Abiola, but is also of humble character.
Okay,
the late Abiola, after his death, there were reactions, and we don't really have factual incidents as regards his death. If a report from the government or people, historians from that era, came and brought out the factual report about his death, what significance would that be in Nigeria now?
Yeah, it will actually teach us a lot of lessons, because we are still acquiring records about the factors that surrounds his death. Because for a person of Abiola, there's need for us to have a kind of archives that will be able to keep records of his lifetime and life after death and circumstances surrounding his death. And even the June 12 election, we need to have historical records that our children and children will meet and they will learn from. It's still part of further research. And we continue looking into individuals like Abiola for us to be able to have the kind of status we needed as a leader in Nigeria. Abiola is the president we never had. And if tomorrow we have someone like Abiola, not only being generous, but with humility, with open-minded, someone that is always there and he cares more about national interest. I think these are part of what we are looking for, and that's what we are shopping for. The next election, we begin to look into most of these factors for us to make decisions.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we must wrap up now, but before we wrap up, one word for the viewers today.
Yeah, one good thing about June 12 is we are all students of history, and we are all learning. I believe with the record and historical background of June 12, All of us, we have a lot of lessons to learn from it. All of us are also aspiring to be a leader tomorrow. If Abiola has been someone that is not resolute, is not prepared, would have jettisoned the ambition. And by now, none of us will be celebrating June 12th. He has a right to look at himself and say, okay, instead of me to come and die for a country like Nigeria, let me forget about this mandate and let me forge ahead with my business after I'm comfortable. But the man look at the mandate beyond him. And this is a great lesson for all of us.
All of us, we want to thank you.
Beyond
we want to thank Dr. Segun. We don't have time on our side. We want to thank Dr. Segun Musa, a transport planner. Thank you for coming on this special edition, June 12th election.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me here.
Well, viewers at home, that's where we come to an end of this segment. We'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be wrapping up the program. Let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back.
SuperDawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen Television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Welcome back. Well, I must inform you, we started a special World Cup program. It's called Russia 2018 Pinnacle. It's going to be fun. Yesterday was a special one, the median edition of that program that will start every day 4 through 5 p.m. on a daily basis, where you will see loads of side attraction during this Russia, the World Cup. We're going to be bringing to you live feeds from the World Cup. We have the media, Super Eagles, media man, Toyin Bitoye. We'll be talking with these guys live on set from Russia. We're going to be bringing to you what you need to know about the World Cup. It's going to be fun, and I want you to be part of it today, this evening, 4 through 5 p.m. It's a must-watch. Call in during the program, and there are, you can actually participate if you have brand, product. You can bring it down to Superscreen Television, the Russia 2018 Pinnacle. You want to sponsor? We have segments for sponsorship during the program. So it's a must-watch program. Bring your product. We have logo placement. We have product display segment. And we want you to be part of this. Don't forget, Russia 2018 Pinnacle, a special Superscreen sports program. It's going to be on until the end of the World Cup. So be part of it. We must wrap up now. Anthony?
Well, one thing I admire about Abiola MKO is his humility and his foresight for Nigeria. By the time our leaders and we individuals begin to imbibe that culture, then we would move the country forward. Today is June 12th. Have a happy Democracy Day. I am Anthony Osaibovo. Thanks for having me.
It is June 12th, and I hope you did enjoy this special program today. Don't forget to also join SuperDawn tomorrow again for another exciting edition of the program. You can be part of it, www.superscreen live TV. Go to your YouTube. Just click on the like button and also subscribe. I will see you tomorrow. Keep watching Superscreen Television. Up next is Superscreen News.